Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, if someone is thinking of selling their home, what are some of the top things a home seller should not fix? I said not fix to prepare their home for sale.
Well, Richard, a lot of people don't really know what's important to buyers because they're not, hearing the comments when people are going through houses like we are. So they have no idea. So before you spend any substantial amount of money, ask me. Not all improvements really add money to the bottom line. And it also depends on the price range of the home, what the market is doing right now, what does your competition look like. There are a whole lot of factors that go into deciding what you should do and what you should not do to get your house ready for sale. Um, and just so you know, there are a large percentage of buyers that eliminate homes if they appear to have what I call deferred maintenance. If you can see that there's a lot of broken stuff. Now, there is one exception to that, and that is if you priced a home well below market value. In other words, it's priced aggressively. And I've had a few listings like that where the seller chose to do what we call the as is strategy and let the market decide what they're going to pay for that. So we price it a really low number and let it bid up. The banks with their bank owned homes, they are really good at this. If you ever see auctions of homes, they'll offer some ridiculous price like $1, which it's not going to sell for $1, but they have a minimum reserve that they'll accept. And then the buyers just bid on it. And the market decides what it's actually going to sell for in that situation. But how the home looks is absolutely critical. One of the exercises I do with my clients when I meet with them is I show them homes and pictures of homes that I've just found from searching around on the internet, homes that were sitting on the market for a while that should have sold, but they didn't sell. And the question is, why not? And typically, even something as small as too much clutter in a picture or dramatic paint in a picture is enough for a buyer to go, I'm moving on. I don't even want to go look at that house. That has changed over the years. Probably just 15 years ago, the imagery was not good enough for a buyer to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to go look at that home just looking at the photos online. But now the imagery is such high quality, they can see everything around it. They can see all the history. They can see the pricing history. They can see the opinions of value from the automated valuations. They have a lot of intel that's out there online for them to help them to decide whether or not they're even going to waste their gas money to drive by your home. That's why it's absolutely critical that you hire the agent that knows how to help you present the home to the market so that you command the most amount of buyers so that you make the most money when you sell. And part of that is knowing what to fix and what not to fix. And I get this question a lot when I'm going through the home, especially about paint. If paint is relatively neutral, and maybe there's some dings from the kids or whatever, it's not 100% fresh paint, that it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to paint the whole house. It could just be maybe you have a dramatic accent wall that has to go, or maybe you have one room that has a little too much drama. Like 10 years ago, the big trend was faux paint. Remember faux paint, Richard?
Yeah, it looked like something. It wasn't. It was a trend for a while, but it's not a trend anymore.
No, it went away pretty quickly. And some people went all in with their faux paint, ceilings, walls, every single room. And it was pretty at the time. If you just have one little powder bath with faux paint, don't worry about it. But let's say you went all in with your the key rooms like the living room, the kitchen, the master bathroom, or the master bedroom, If those rooms have big dramatic paint, you should consider really neutralizing it. And the colors, it's funny, the colors that go in and out change a lot. So I definitely would Google that about what are the colors. A lot of people still think that gray is in style. It went out of style already too. Did you know that, Richard?
I did not know that. I learned so many things just by listening to you, whether it's light fixtures over the bathroom or whether it's the color of paint.
Right. And so, if you already have a gray house, it's okay. It's fine. It's a neutral. You can work with it. But don't paint a house gray just because you think it's in style. Find out. Lately, in fact, I was just in a model yesterday and I was really appreciating the colors that they picked. It was kind of cream colored wall, which is very much on trend for 2023, cream colored walls. But then they accented with very neutral taupes and soft browns, even on the cabinets. It looked amazing. I was like, wow, this is great. But it's probably out of style. By the time next year turns around, there's going to be a new color and a new style trend. Don't worry so much about that. Make sure that when you present your home to the market, it is neutral. It's the drama, it's the Bronco orange family room that has to go, or the purple or the magenta accent wall that probably has to go when you sell your home. Don't worry about little cosmetic flaws. Normal wear and tear is okay. It's all right to have minor hardwood scratches, but let's say you can see visible traffic areas in hardwood floors. That's something you probably should resolve. Don't worry, don't fix grandfathered building code issues. What I see all the time on inspections are these inspectors come in and they try to impose today's building code on older homes. And there's no requirement for the older home to be brought to today's code. Probably the most common things I see are they'll tell the seller, oh, your smoke detectors are more than 10 years old, you have to replace them. Well, no, you don't. There's no rule for that. Or they will say, you don't have a GFCI in your kitchen, you must put one in. No, that's today's code. It's not when the house was built. So it really depends on either when the house was built or when it was remodeled. Another question I get very commonly is about cracks in the driveway or maybe cracks in the basement slab. As long as they're not trip hazards or big, big, wide cracks, don't worry too much about it. Concrete will crack. That's one guarantee in the builder world and is designed to crack. In fact, the expansion joints are designed to crack. Don't worry too much about minor electrical, but I would focus on just the things that are really obvious. Like if it's missing an outlet cover, then go get it. It's a 10-cent part. Go put it on. If you have light fixtures that are visibly falling apart, you might want to consider replacing those types of things. Driveway cracks, unless they're a trip hazard, don't worry too much about them. Inspectors will probably find something wrong with your home no matter what happens. So usually I'll tell, especially the super picky homeowners that want to fix everything, I'll say, hey, leave at least one thing for the inspector to find. That way they can justify their job. And they always think that's kind of funny. They're like, why'd you say that? I'm like, because they're going to find something, give them something to find if your house is very clean and very well maintained. You don't have to do extensive upgrades to sell your home. Generally, you want to make the home look fresh and neutral and move-in ready. Sometimes we can decide on that we're not going to update the home necessarily, but we're going to price it appropriately. Almost every property has flaws. And watch out for what I call lipstick and rouge rehabs. Have you ever heard that term, Richard?
You've used it before, but explain again for people who aren't familiar.
Well, it's interesting. You can go into homes and you can kind of see it. Like I showed pictures right here of this one home that it was really obvious that the floors were kind of fractured and stained, but the paint looked good, right? So they did just minimal to make this house look okay. So when we actually went inside the home and took a look at the detail, it was really sloppy work. if you're just going to do a half-baked job on getting the home ready for sale, that's a mistake as well. So if your home has a lot of cosmetic issues, just price it appropriately. That's a better strategy than kind of just putting lipstick on it and hoping somebody will pay top dollar, because it's not going to work. And don't worry about minor paint flaws. Many of these, the buyers probably won't notice it. Plus, we can fix things with Photoshop too, if it's just minor stuff. You do want to fix dramatic paint or obviously damaged paint like faux paint. And we talked about colors, exterior paint. As long as there's no peeling paint, don't worry about it. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. I've been here in the market since the 90s, and I'm happy to share with you all of the tips and things that you can do about buying and selling real estate on your real estate voice. We're talking about what to fix and what not to fix. And when we come back, we're going to pick up some few things that we should cover that you shouldn't have to worry about fixing. And we'd love to do that in-home consultation for you. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You are listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She's the host of the program, and you can always reach her at 719-301-3900. If you're in your car, you can't listen to the entire show. We understand. You can catch Barb on her YouTube channel or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. It'll kick you over to the podcast platforms as well. Barb, what are some other things that a home seller should not do to get their home ready for sale?
Window coverings comes up quite a bit. So if you're having to remove window coverings to paint a home, you might want to consider not putting them back up because the curtains, the rods go with the house. The heavy curtains, sometimes they just don't look as good as just looking at outside and leaving them uncovered. You could go ahead and put the blinds back up, and don't worry about outdated appliances. As long as they're functional, you have to keep in mind that things like a refrigerator, washer, and dryer are a gift, a present to the buyer. It's personal property. So if you want to leave them, that's a very nice thing to do. An appraiser only gives you about $150 of value for that. But these are the rooms you got to focus on. Curb appeal. That means the front door, the doorbell, the backyard, the living room, the kitchen, the master bathroom, and the master bedroom. Richard?
If you're thinking of making a move in the next 2 to 6 months and want a free consultation, barbhasthebuyers.com. That's the place to go. Barb, you've got some hot new listings to talk about. Tell us about them.
I do. I'm always excited to share them. Beautiful home on Crystal Mountain in prestigious Ridgeview at Stetson Hills in the low fives. Great home in Pueblo West in the upper threes. A brand new listing on the market, 4-bedroom on East LaSalle in the mid threes. A great home in the upper 300s on Heatherdale, beautiful ranch that backs to a trail. 60 acres of beauty, peace, and quiet on Loppy Road in the low fives. We also have a great home in the northwest part of town on Native Circle, one on Rock Creek Mesa, a new Victorian home on Rocky Heights, a spectacular, I mean spectacular, home in Florissant at $2.5 million, and also sneak peek, great home on Wood Lake, great home coming up in the Glen Eagle area that backs to open space on Palma Valley, and lots more. To find out all about my sneak peek homes, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
And Barb is the only agent I'd recommend when you're thinking of making a move. You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Your Real Estate Voice airs every Saturday. And if you're thinking of making a move, call her at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Remember, you can see replays of the show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Has the Buyers, or on Barb's website, barbhasthebuyers.com. Also, you can listen to the entire show on a podcast on all of the platforms like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Thanks for listening this week. Reach out to Barb. Call her at 719-301-3900. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon, Barb.
Thank you. Talk to you very soon.